Hi, Troy Meyerhoff for Yakattack National Fishing Team. For any of you guys coming to the Yakattack Tournament for the first time, or even if you fished there before, I'm going to give you some tips that are helpful on some of the baits I like to use. This time of year, in those lakes, and really anywhere in the spring, I like to use square bills. This is a bluegill pattern. This works really great, and you can drag it right through the standing timber at Broward in 20 feet of water, and most of the time you're not going to get hung up. Probably 90% of the time. It just bounces off trees, bring it through the rocky points at Sandy, and it bounces around the dam area. Any of those spots are good for these baits. You know, bring a plug knocker with you in case you do get caught up. I've lost one bait in 4 years of fishing there, so it's not that bad. These come in a bunch of different sizes. This is kind of the medium size, a little bit smaller. Some of the lakes that have a little bit of murky water, like Broward and this yellow worked pretty well for me. And this year I'm going to try something even bigger for the bigger bass. This is a pretty good size square bill crankbait. But they do like the bluegill pattern. It works really well. I caught a 7 and 8 pounder last year off of the bluegill pattern. And second thing I like there are a couple grassy flats. If you find them in 2-3 feet of water with some weeds standing in, this is an innovative reaction swim bait. There's a bunch of companies that make stuff similar to this. It's got some good weight to it. You can cast a long distance. This is a scrounger head. If you're not familiar, it gives the bait a really erratic action. And pulling this to the grass is going to produce a lot of fish. You might even catch an 8-9 pounder off these. So these are great. Of course, spinnerbaits, white, chartreuse, even some natural colors will work. And you know, you can go anywhere from pounding the bank with these to 20 feet of water in timber, and you bring a spinnerbait by there and the bass will hit it. Don't rely on this too much. Like I said, the crankbaits work really, really well. The other thing I really love to fish in these lakes, and you can go with topwater frogs and so on, but I've been really successful with swim jigs, and this is kind of a bluegill pattern. I'm using a pretty good size trailer. This is a zoom crawl. These work exceptionally well, and you can throw them up in sticks, trees. You can even fish deep water. I caught an 8 pounder last year on one of these, and I caught a 7 pounder. If anybody watched Kayak Bass when I was fishing with Chad, this is what I got my 7 pounder on. I threw it right up on a bank. There was this little tiny pocket where the bank cut into, and I threw it right up in there, brought it parallel to the bank, and she hammered it. And it was a sunny day, and there was no shade, no cover, anything around. She was sitting right in that open water in that little niche, and she hammered this thing. Stick baits work well, like Sinkos and so on, but there's so many small bass in those lakes, they're just going to get to them before any big bass do. Go ahead and use them, target specific areas and cover and so on. So, that's pretty much what I've been successful with. Square bill crankbaits, swim baits, spinnerbaits, and jigs. So good luck, and hopefully I'll see you at Yakattack.